Tonight on NAIT NewsWatch.
With the upcoming election, we find out what students are doing to encourage more voters.
It's really important to show that we're engaged and to show that we have a voice and that we need to be listened to just to make our futures better.
Canada's largest electronic music festival is headed to town, which may have some people concerned.
I just hope that everybody has a good time and that no one gets hurt or there's no problem.
And a recent cancer study by the University of Alberta shows some surprising results.
What we're looking at is trying to identify a predictive markers.
NAIT NewsWatch starts right now.
Good evening. The provincial election has been announced this week.
Students are getting more involved in this election by encouraging other young people to head to the polls. Our Anna Stanislaw joins us live from our news center with more on that story.
Post-secondary students kicked off a campaign on Wednesday to get as many young voters as possible to cast their ballots in the April 23rd election.
Now it's time to get out the vote. Thanks.
As politicians have started posting their election signs, university students launched the Get Out the Vote campaign to fight voter apathy with two main goals.
The first is to encourage students that are not currently engaged in the political process to get informed, to learn about candidates, to learn about parties, and to vote. The second is to show that the government of Alberta that students do care who they get elected.
Most are concerned about post-secondary education and the rising tuition fees. They hope that the winning party will help make it more affordable to students.
If we took that tax money, re-implemented those taxes on those companies, and took that tax money and supported, school funding instead, it would help students immensely.
Post-secondary education is one of the most important platforms that the political parties are trying to deliver. All parties recognize that addressing this platform is vital to getting students to vote.
I think you're going to see a lot more investment in our infrastructure. You're going to see us continue to work together with the students to revamp the student loan portfolio, if you will, to take a look at how we can change it to benefit students even better.
The big thing, as I say, is this post-secondary endowment that will bring down tuition fees as we move through the years. You would see reductions in tuition every year after 2013. And the other thing, as I said, is expanding the distance learning to try to keep young people in their home communities.
Both the Wild Rose Party and the Alberta Party have similar platforms, where they both aim to expand spaces and provide funding for high-demand degrees, while the New Democratic Party plans to remove all non-instructional fees collected by post-secondary institutions for operating revenue.
I think that it's really important to show that we're engaged and to show that we have a voice and that we need to be listened to just to make our futures better.
Get Out the Vote volunteers will be using all forms of communication to remind students on April 23rd to vote.
Anna, how has voter turnout been in the past few elections?
Well, in 2008, only 41% of the province cast ballots. Alberta reached a record low, with young people being the least to vote.
And Anna, how many students are planning to vote?
Well, according to the campaign, more than 10,000 university students across the province have signed the pledge to vote and hope to increase it.
Thanks, Anna. That's Anna Stanislaw reporting live from our news center tonight.
This is NAIT NewsWatch.
Come April, Edmonton will be home to an electronic music festival, which for many is an exciting event.
But it's also creating concerns. The city and EPS are taking action to ensure people's safety. Tiffany Lise has more on that story.
Next month, Edmonton will be home to one of the largest electronic music festivals in Canada. There will be more than 24,000 people attending. The Elements Music Fest will be held here at the Edmonton Expo Centre.
Raver Candace Harris knows oftentimes raves are associated with drugs, but she says she goes for a whole other reason.
I go to raves because I like the music. Obviously, some people go just for the drug experience, but I go for the music and for the fun, hanging out with my friends.
Harris goes to raves for the overall experience. People are friendlier and the atmosphere is a lot happier than in a bar.
I've never seen people fighting at raves, like getting in physical fist fights with each other. I have seen a lot of people overdosing and being taken care of by EMS or security.
EPS has put together a video to highlight some dangers that can occur at raves to help people become more aware.
As you near the end of a rave, you'll see people that are starting to sober up a little bit. They're more irritable, they fight with each other.
Because it is kind of almost like a free-for-all, where we have people who are actually reporting being sexually assaulted.
To
Typically, we would have about 20 calls on a weekend to our 24-hour crisis line, but after the rave weekend, we had 39 calls, which is almost double, and 14 of those calls were rave-related.
The city and EPS are currently forming a security plan to put in place for Elements Music Festival, making it a safer environment for attendees. Mayor Mandel feels it is important to offer a variety of entertainment venues for Edmontonians.
As long as they can be run in a effective manner where people are safe and secure, then yeah, we're very pleased to have them here.
The city, as well as ravegoers, are getting excited for the next couple shows coming up in Edmonton. The Elements Music Festival, with its high profile, is expected to bring in people from all over the world, making Edmonton the go-to city in April.
Tiffany, that's Tiffany Lizet reporting from the Edmonton Expo Center.
Medical research is showing some breast cancer tumors may be resistant to a common type of chemotherapy treatment. The discovery is made by a research team at the University of Alberta. The team discovered that the breast cancer tumors with low-level genes did not respond to taxane chemotherapy, a common treatment used in breast cancer, which may be why some cancer patients do not respond to the chemotherapy.
Specifically, what we're looking at is trying to identify a predictive marker, so a way to identify if a patient will respond well to a particular drug.
The team looked at tumor samples from more than 24 patients who had been treated with chemotherapy before surgery and found that, ironically, the stronger the tumor system, the better the chemotherapy worked. The team's overall goal now is to identify a tool that physicians can use to guide treatment decisions of cancer patients.
The University of Alberta put on the 7th Annual Mental Health Awareness Week booth fair this week. The fair brings in organizations from all around Alberta to spread awareness about mental health and how people can help. The event is put on by a group called Medical Students for Mental Health Awareness and is run by the university medical students. All the organizations came to the fair with a common purpose.
The overall goal is to help people understand the resources that are available to help them or people they know who are suffering from mental health issues. And that's number one. And number two is to just spread awareness and just let people know that it's out there.
The fair is one of just many mental health events held by the group throughout the year.
The last group of Edmonton-based soldiers returned home earlier this week. Roughly 100 soldiers arrived at Edmonton's International Airport late Monday night after serving between 4 months to a year overseas in Afghanistan. Lieutenant Colonel Rob Carter describes this special day.
It's pretty neat. We got treated very well throughout the whole deployment, the whole return trip. Everybody else was excited for us as well because we were the kind of the guys closing the door behind us. Coming home, being the last guys to have feet on the ground here. So we knew tonight was a big night, not only for us, but also for the support people, all the people who are doing the transport for us as well, because we're the ones who are now saying the mission's been complete.
The Canadian Army has been deployed in Afghanistan since last October as part of a NATO training mission.
A well-known Edmonton bridge is going to be replaced as its time is coming to an end. With the current Walterdale Bridge coming to the end of its service life, the City of Edmonton is deep in the design phase for a new path across the river. The current bridge carries northbound drivers over the North Saskatchewan River and has been in place since 1913. The new bridge will cost $132 million and will take about 2 years to build, as well as removing the current one. The new bridge promises to be an improvement over the old one.
Essentially, we're going from a two-lane bridge with narrow sidewalks to a 3-lane bridge with trails on either side of it that are quite a bit wider.
Construction is set to begin in early 2013.
Alberta tourism generates a total of $5 billion province-wide each year, but a recent plan shows that those numbers may be on the rise come 2017. Edmonton alone generates $1 billion of that total, which can often be credited to the city's numerous events and festivities.
The strength of Edmonton's twofold is our ongoing events are so good and so strong that's really our bread and butter, and then the ability to attract the individual events.
With Travel Alberta working alongside Edmonton Tourism and other tourism partners, it is hoped the city sees increased visitation to the capital region.
We're ideally positioned for the future with our arts, our culture, our river valley, Elk Island National Park. We've got the product, and we've got the product year-round.
The overall goal is to see a 20% increase by 2017.
Many post-secondary schools across Alberta will be turning off the lights for the cross-campus Earth Hour Challenge. NAIT will be one of 10 schools taking place in the 3rd annual challenge. Earth Hour is an event started by the World Wildlife Foundation that encourages people to use as little power as possible for an hour. The campus challenge keeps track of how many Students per school are participating with
We have more than 2,000 students that have pledged this year already, students and staff, sorry, and that's very exciting. Last year we had a total of 1,400 through the 5 schools, so to have 2,000 this year in 10 schools, I bet you will get quite higher than that as the final push for Earth Hour comes.
Earth Hour will be taking place tonight between 8:30 and 9:30. Coming up after the break, we get an early start to spring.
The warm weather causes trouble for those with allergies.
It's warmer, so the spring allergens are going to come in sooner.
And we take an insider's look at student summer job hunting.
They just want people who are willing to learn and grow with the company.
And coming up after the break, I try my hand at squash.
Now that spring is here, the air is filled with dust and pollen.
And this year, allergy sufferers may begin to feel symptoms earlier than expected. A warm winter has led to minimal snow, meaning early, mild temperatures may result in early pollination. The lack of snow may have its benefits to those with allergies, but an early start to spring can make up for any allergies that may have been lacking.
Now this year, because we've had very little snow for a normal Edmonton winter, there's not going to be as much snow mold. Now the difference is that because it's warmer, so the spring allergens are going to come in sooner.
Another study shows Edmonton has a low ratio of female to male trees. Female trees often bear fruit and litter the ground with seeds. Fewer female trees may make for a cleaner city, but male trees carry pollen. So we finally hit the double digits this week.
Yeah, the weather's been absolutely amazing the last couple of days, and I really hope Bart's got some good news for us with weather.
Well, I got a little bit of good news, a little bit of bad news, but as you guys can see, I am wearing my spring colors today, so it's a normal spring day in the city. Just to let you guys know, we do have a little bit of a cold front coming in from the south. I'll go through Alberta to kind of show you where it's all going to hit. In Calgary, that's where the cold front's kind of starting from. That's where they're going to actually wake up to some morning showers or even some light snow. High of 3 and low of 0. Jasper, this is where we're going to get some of the white sticky stuff coming down. They can get all the way up to 10 centimeters of snow over this weekend, which is actually pretty nice because most of it's not actually going to hit the town of Jasper, and it's instead going to go down to the Marmot Basin where their ski lifts and everything are still open till May 6th. Fort McMurray's a bit bland compared to the rest. No snow, no rain. High and low of minus and plus 5. In Edmonton, this is where we're might get some either light rain or snow, about a 60% chance of it. Again, a high of 5, a low of -1, and that is from the low pressure system that is coming in from Calgary. Now, if we go back to our records, our old high was 21 in 1906, and we got down to a chilly -25 in 1936.
Weather brought to you by NR92.
So hopefully I can tell you guys some better news in next coming weeks, but the way I look at it, tomorrow is tomorrow is April Fool's Day, and hopefully this is just Mother Nature's last April Fool's Day prank before the nice weather comes in.
Sounds like nothing we can't deal with, Bart.
Exactly.
Thanks, Bart.
No problem.
It's the time when now hiring signs are in front of every store and business.
But for a student finding a summer job to help benefit their career path, it could be a tricky task. Amanda Torok reports.
Amanda Bonnet-Toe, one university student, has experienced firsthand the difficulties in searching for a summer job. Amanda has been looking for summer employment since the beginning of March, but is still unsure exactly how to go about it.
It's hard to know which ones are really secure and which ones are like sketchy. Like you don't know who's asking for these jobs.
With the rise of job scam complaints in southern Alberta, students should be aware of fake employment sites when searching for a job. A few simple tips when looking for summer employment is always remember to check the source. Make sure it's a trustworthy employer and never give out any personal information. NAIT's Employment Services is one place that gives students a safe and easy way to find a job. Cindy Bustamante deals with students who struggle to find employment on a regular basis. Place Pro is a popular site that allows you to create your own profile and view jobs that relates only to your interests.
I would look on Place Pro. We've posted more than 800 jobs this month alone for all of the programs related to NAIT.
One of the most common problems that students face when looking for a job is they misread the fine print or miss the deadline. While Amanda continues to look for that perfect summer job, she keeps her sights on what she wants.
I don't want just some retail part-time job. I definitely want something where I can gain skills that I could use further in my career.
For more information on how you can set up your Place Pro site, go to www.nait.ca/student-employment.
Sounds like you've been doing a lot of running around this week.
With boxing and water polo, you must be really getting into the Olympic spirit.
You might say that. I went down to Kinsman to check out their Olympic qualifying tournament, and I tried my hand at squash. All that and more coming up right now in sports. The Canadian men's national water polo team will be in the city for a tournament of Olympic proportions. Canada, along with 11 other countries, will be competing to qualify for the 2012 London Summer Olympics. Canada will need to win a quarterfinal to qualify, as only 4 teams are going to be moving on to the Games. The Kinsman Centre will play host, and for Water Polo Canada, a tournament of this size means everything.
Oh, it's very important for us. We are a great sport in the country. We're another aquatic sport, and it allows us to tell everyone, to announce to everyone that we have another alternative sport for you. You can go hockey, basketball, football, or come play water polo. It's another great team sport in the water. It's going to keep you fit, it's going to keep you active, and it's going to keep you out of trouble.
The tournament runs April 1st to 8th. For tickets, check out FINA's website or pick them up at the Kinsman Centre office on game day. The Oil Kings were taking a 2-0 lead against the Kootenay Ice as they headed to Cranbrook for 2 games. They took Wednesday night's game 6-3 and won Thursday 3-1 to complete the sweep. Their next opponent will likely be the Brandon Wheat Kings, and the series will kick off Friday, April 6th at Rexall. Last Friday, the Shaw Conference Centre played host to KO Boxing's Fully Loaded card. It was headlined by the women's WBC world title fight. The fans were out looking for some good fights, and in the main event, Edmonton's own Jelena Mrjenovic was taking on Oshawa's Lindsay Garbett, and the hometown crowd was behind her. Garbett had beaten Mrjenovic twice before, so it was expected to be a tough bout. But the hometown girl was on a mission, and less than a minute in, after a Garbett combo, she loads up and lands a huge left hook, putting Garbett to the mat. And like a predator, Mrjenovic stalked her opponent before landing another left, forcing the ref to call it. Afterward, Mrjenovic gave her take on the fight.
I've been working on sitting down on a lot of my power punches, and I don't know, my left hook just comes so quick and so naturally that I honestly don't even remember throwing it.
The champ's next fight is yet to be announced. With the snow melting and temperatures rising, it won't be long till minor football players and their coaches are back on the field. The Edmonton Eskimos held their 2nd annual NCCP coaching clinic last Saturday at the Commonwealth Fieldhouse. The Edmonton Wildcats and Huskies junior players were there to help out with the on-field demos, as over 110 minor football coaches from across the province were in attendance, many of them going for their NCCP certificate. Brad Morgan explains the club's goal.
Building football in Alberta is our main mandate in amateur football, and the coaching clinic is, helping the grassroots level directly.
The Eskimos and NCCP hope to expand to accommodate even more people in the future. With a distinctly Olympic feel in sports this week, I decided to get in on it. I headed down to the Royal Glenora Club to test out my squash prowess. Squash is a sport that many people might not be familiar with. Played in an enclosed court like in racquetball, but with the key difference being the kind of ball used. A squash ball absorbs much more of the power from your swing, and Glenora head pro Jeff Williams describes how you want to hit it.
The swing is primarily you're lifting the ball, because the squash ball is a bit of a dead ball. So it's more like an underhand throw than, say, around the body, right? So
he put me to work, testing my returns, a few forehand, a few backhand, and I was kind of getting the hang of it.
Nice shot. The more height you hit, the farther back the ball gets into the back of the court, which is, of course, what you want to do to your opponent, because as soon as the ball gets back here, now they can't swing. The wall's in the way, so now they have to change their swing to try and hit the next shot.
Then, after a few awful serves, I decided to take on Jeff in a rally. He didn't seem to be trying very hard. And I was tempted to test out my McEnroe impression. But I did manage to get 1 point off him.
Oh, good shot. So you won the rally now, so you get to serve. So you're going to try serve.
But the success was short-lived. And Jeff proceeded to mop the floor with me. And the walls.
Oh, good try. All right.
So I guess that's just one more sport I won't be going to London for.
That's good.
I'd like to thank Jeff for letting me come out there. He's a really great coach.
You know, I've always wanted to give squash a try.
You should. It's a great workout and a lot of fun.
Thanks, Nick.
Thanks,
No
Nick.
problem.
Coming up after the break, Brett and I give back to the less fortunate.
We join some U of A students to help feed those in need.
Our whole mission is to combat hunger with the simplicity of a sandwich.
Coming up after the break, a new exhibit here at the Royal Alberta Museum will ruffle your feathers.
NAIT NewsWatch jackets, sponsored by JobSite Workwear.
To some, a sandwich may be a simple meal, but to those who don't have a lot, it means so much more.
This week, Kyle and I joined some university students who are making a difference for those who are less fortunate. Spread the Love at University of Alberta is an organization focused on helping the hungry in Edmonton. They'll be donating the sandwiches they're making to the Youth Emergency Shelter, the Refuge Mission, and to the university's campus food bank. By using funds from a previous fundraiser, they are able to get the ingredients for the meals. Director Matthew Barron and the rest of the group are very passionate about helping others.
Our whole mission is to combat hunger with the simplicity of a sandwich. That's what we do, and it's not just about feeding people, but it's about raising awareness about hunger in Canada and how it is actually an issue for a lot of people.
If you'd like to find out more about them or want to volunteer, go to Facebook and search Spread the Love at University of Alberta, or you can email them at spreadthelove@uofa@gmail.com.
Our entertainment reporter Will Cortez has his hands full of birds and feather hats.
From Blue Men to a new book unveiling, Will has all your entertainment news for this week.
Sure to take flight for kids and adults alike. The exhibit opened on March 24th. It will feature an array of different kinds of birds, most of which are exotic and never seen in these parts of Canada. The exhibit will feature small videos of how birds are stuffed and in their natural habitat. Also for display will be hats, which used to be used for whole birds. This strange array of fashion pushed many birds to the brink of extinction, a thought Dr. Jocelyn Hudon hopes people keep in mind when they leave.
But we need to remind people that the dangers that we can, of the things that we can do to the environment if we're not mindful of the fragility of the environment.
The exhibit will be going on until January of next year. It was the murder story of the year in Edmonton that even had the attention of American news networks. Now the book is out about former NAIT student Mark Twitchell. The Garneau Theatre hosted the unveiling of The Devil's Cinema. The book chronicles events, detective quotes, and the murderous trial of the convicted killer Edmonton native Mark Twitchell. Steve Lillibouin described the writing as a strange process, including one instance where Mark called him directly. People were invited to a Q&A where Steve recounted some events. When he was writing his book this past Thursday, Mark Twitchell abandoned his appeal to overturn his 2011 murder conviction in the death of Johnny Altinger. Edmonton was full of performances this week, but a specific performance is sure to impress any audience. The Blue Man Group are in Edmonton as part of their Canadian tour, and trust me when I say, they know how to put on a good show. The performances are known to always be high energy and loud. What's incredible about their shows is they are given a very loose script. Bryn Seid, one of the three Blue Men, describes it as a collective but wordless improv, not only with his fellow Blue Men, but the musicians as well.
And I think the same goes with the band as well. In the show, I can hear Julian play strings and sort of understand what he's thinking or what he's feeling or what he's suggesting.
Being part of the group takes more than just being blue. There's a complicated but fun process.
The audition where there's a quick acting and drumming audition, and if they see what they like in you, they'll ask you to go to callbacks, which happen in New York City. At the end of the second day, you get bald and blue, so you get to see yourself, as well as the casting team see you as a blue man.
The musician director, Julian Castanetti, hopes people understand their simple but often lost in translation message.
I think this show is actually a testament to, how communication isn't just written down or just spoken. It's mentioned, it's body language, it's intent.
Tomorrow is the last day you can catch the Blue Men in town. The blockbuster Titanic is getting a theatrical re-release in 3D next Wednesday.
Got everything I need right here with me. I figure life's a gift and I don't intend on wasting it.
When this ship docks, I'm getting off with you. God almighty.
First person to tweet at NAIT NewsWatch was the hashtag Titanic will win 2 passes to the release, a custom Titanic 3D glasses, a poster, and a t-shirt. A talented bicycle rider shows viewers some unbelievable and crazy tricks in our viral video of the week. I'd be more worried about wearing a cup than a helmet if I were that guy. Well, I think that's enough greatness from me for one day. I'm going to go watch Kate Winslet in 3D. Back to you, Brett and Kyle.
The government of Canada has elected to stop producing pennies this fall.
The coins have been falling out of favor with the Conservative government since the Senate recommendations to get rid of them in 2010. Currently, to produce a penny, it costs a Canadian Mint 1.6 cents.
So they seem to be revamping all the old movies like the Titanic there.
Oh yeah, they've also been doing that with a lot of the Disney movies. I mean, I guess it was only a matter of time before Titanic joined the list.
Exactly.
And that bicycle rider, man, he had some great tricks.
Give me a couple weeks, I think I might be able to.
I'm gonna hold you to that.
Maybe not.
About that Blue Man, I mean, I almost got to go see their show in New York once. I mean, and the hype that they bring is unbelievable.
Right on. Well, that's all the time we have for tonight.
Thanks for joining us.
We'll see you next time.